Hello and welcome to the Stellar Monarchs Friday Focus. Myself, Graham Munsey and Dave Harlow come back on another tough night for the home side as they went down big, 51-39, the margin of victory for the Glasgow Tigers. We'll hear from Monarchs guest Richie Worrall, Tigers triumphant team manager Cammy Brown, and as always we'll have your heat of the night. Dave, it's been a tough few weeks for the Monarchs. A couple of changes were brought in to try and turn things around, but sadly, I guess from a blue and gold perspective, it was the same old story, and it's the Tigers that go away with the points, and deservedly so. They won by 12 in the end, and that margin didn't really flatter them, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I can't really disagree. I mean, it was one of these nights where we needed everything to go for us, and possibly two of them to be a wee bit off for it to be a good night for us. But we're still kind of optimistic. You know, we've got Bastien coming for his first race season, and 3-1 in his first night here isn't it disgraceful? Dale scored more than we thought he would have scored, to be fair, as well. So, but I mean, and our guests had a decent effort, especially Richie Worrall being excellent. But as you say, Glasgow solid. Tom Brennan, absolutely excellent. Chris Harris is exciting as ever to watch, and well backed up by Basso and Lee Copland and Martin Novak as well. Yeah,
points everywhere, you know, apart from young Ace, really, who took that spill, and that probably was the end of his night. But yeah, if we look at the home team first, you know, we probably mentioned coming in that the engine room, as it's called, isn't it? You know, the guys that have been there already, maybe your Paco, Kai, Lassie, and you know, we're not here to. We know there's 110% effort going on. We're not here to be judgmental or be negative, but looking at those scores tonight, you know, 4-5 and 4. Paco point to it was like an engine failure when he was in third in his last one, but there's not much difference between 4 and 5, really, is there? You know, and you know,
so that's what we're saying. There's
13 points there from the guys that have been in the team for the start of the season. The only 3 guys that have, and you know, taking nothing away from Glasgow, the guys were better tonight, but that needs to be more. That needs to be minimum 18, 19, 20 for the Monarchs to have any chance, and it just wasn't there tonight. You know, 2 heat wins between the 3 of them, and that was heats 2 and 8.
Yeah, and we're looking, well, as you say, heat wins are the ones that are looking for. Heat 14 and heat 12. We hope we'd strengthen there by having Lassie reserve, and unfortunately it just hasn't quite worked out there. But I mean, as you say, Paco, we got unlucky, but still heat 1 run last when really gets us off to a bad start, and Lee Copland's got the better Lassie in a couple of things as well. When we can talk about heat 14, should have got another chance at it. I kind of have to agree with you that ultimately it probably didn't make a lot of difference, and they would still come out winning. But yeah, it would have been nice to have had a good race in heat 14 and a chance. But ultimately, Glasgow were too good for us in the end.
Yeah, that was the thing. And as you say, you know, it's tough. You're missing your top 2, but we get 21 points combined, 14 for Richie. He was outstanding. You only headed once, and that was on his tacky sub ride. You know, but beyond that, heat 1, which we'll see later, last to first, and some of his first and second bends were absolutely imperious. You know, so we can't ask for any more than that. Willie Kerr battled hard. I mean, he only took a late booking. He picked the booking up Thursday afternoon, and you know, there was no lack of effort.
Trying hard, you know, he's putting in heat 13, heat 15 in particular. You know, he's really putting that about,
throwing some shapes, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, would Cookie have scored more points? Probably. Would Josh have scored as many? Richie, that's a difficult one, his situation, but we are badly missing those 2, and your own top 2 to lead the team. It does make a difference, and unfortunately, it's just happening too often now, and 3 defeats leaves us really struggling for playoffs.
That's it. You know, we're not sitting here making any excuses. I think this may be the 3rd time I've said it, so no one can accuse me. They've been unclear in this. Glasgow deserved the win tonight, and they took it well. One man who did as much as anyone could have for the Monarchs was guest number 1, Richie Worrall. I caught up with him after the match.
So Richie, you know, you come in as a guest, so it's your job to score the points, and 14 points at number 1. The Monarchs couldn't ask for any more from you personally.
No, I feel like I did my job, didn't I? I earned my money tonight. I wanted to win this one, I did. I remember how important these derbies was, and it wouldn't be that if you lost. You'd be over there sulking. Cammy Brown. So I wanted to win this one, but
and I think we saw the way you're riding. It was the same when you were the Monarchs. Some absolute dominant first and second bend. You know, you never seem to lose. It doesn't seem to matter inside, outside. If somebody pushes you, you know where you just seem to know exactly where to be or where you are all times on that first and second bend.
I don't know what it is with this place. I ride it well, don't I? I like turning a bike, and I think when the conditions are like this, with a little bit of dirt on, a little bit more than usual, it takes a bit of strength, doesn't it? And it suits me, it really does. I'd love to come back. I would. And see what happens in the winter.
And of course, Josh, you said he might be another couple of weeks away, so if a phone call comes for another one, you'll be here if you're available.
Absolutely, yeah. Fingers crossed Josh is back soon. You guys need him, don't you? But hey, as long as he's off, I'll keep stepping in when I can, yeah.
And that first heat, I mean, you went from fourth, I think, to second, back the way back to first. It was a pretty untidy start. I think maybe both you and Chris had a wee nibble, but then come the end you took that checkered flag.
Yeah, well, gate 4 wasn't the best either. Not for that first one. Anyway, it was like the furthest of the way across, and there's not yet any dirt built up on the outside, so it's hard. If you've not got over everybody, you're now on the outside of everybody, and the track's a lot bigger. So yeah, I found that was a bit tough. Normally, I'm like off the start and clean away, but it didn't work out for me that way in that race for some reason. But I had to pull out all my knowledge, didn't I, and make it interesting for everyone.
Well, thanks very much for your efforts tonight, Richie. Well done.
No problem.
Yeah, Richie Worrall there, maybe ploughing a little bit of own furrow at times, but can't ask for any more. If we flip over to the Glasgow side of the programme, they can be delighted all the way down, as you mentioned. Chris Harris leading from the front, Tom Brennan, we all know how capable he is, and obviously he was brought up on the Eastbourne track, but he's never really put that into a big score here. And tonight, he was only beaten once, and I think, Free is right, he came for the back. We've seen maybe some moans in previous weeks about the lack of action. If anyone moans about the action tonight, I think they're probably just being a bit biased because a lot of the passing was done by the Tigers. There was passing in 5, 6, 7 races off the top of my head, and Tom Brennan was at the forefront of a lot of that. He was fantastic. Marcin Novak, we'll hear from Cammy Brown in a second. As he said, the first time he came here, 3-4 years ago, Cammy Brown's exact quote was, "He was a joke."
Right.
And I don't think he meant. I think it meant as in the Monarchs made a joke of how badly he performed, and people did. But tonight, just showing it, he's a good speedway rider, and he made some strong gates, held on to the points. We comp one, battling hard in every race. Even the race he was disqualified. There was no malice in the movie. Just
a good effort.
Him and Lassie were having a fantastic race there. And as I say, maybe only young ace, but he was winning heat 2, and then has a spin, and it was a heavy off. It was an uncomfortable looking one. So that maybe put paid to his chances of having a big night. But a 6-man effort. Well, if those 6 men all with at least one heat win or paid win, if not 2, and lots of heat wins. And I think what the big difference was early in the meeting was actually, I think up to heat, I'll double check my stats, I think up to heat 8 or 9, the Monarchs had more heat wins. But every race the Tiger had won was a 5-1. Monarchs were 3-3s and the odd 4-2, and that makes such a big difference if your teammates backing up. Of course, Visson, probably never ridden better here either. Even the race where Tom Brennan made the gate and Louis Kerr tried to shove Brennan out, and then Visson makes a cutback to join his team up front. Just clever riding, taking advantage of the situations, and as I've said already, thoroughly deserving of the points.
Yeah, no, and I think you said it all with Morton. Brennan is exciting, but Chris Harris is exciting as ever to watch. He's brilliant. The races with him and Richie Worrall, and as you see with Louis Kerr as well. It's great to watch. It's difficult when you're on the losing side, and we're no joy sitting here saying things that we're saying, but I'm still going to be a little bit optimistic and say 6th place isn't that far away, but we can't afford any more home defeats, and we need to go and win some matches, and we need some riders to be turning up for that to happen.
Yeah, we're playing catch up, aren't we, the Monarchs? Yeah. You look, that's 3 home defeats, one, and that's remarkable that we've fought 4 league matches in and our only wins away from home. But Birmingham are in a worse position than us. Plymouth are only 1 home defeat behind us, and there's a lot of teams that haven't had many matches yet. So if we can turn things around, 6th place, you only need 1 more team to be coming into that level where Edinburgh, Plymouth and Birmingham probably find themselves. And if you get into 6 and everyone starts again,
as you say, you don't need to be the best team in April, May, June or July. It's September when you need to be the best team. You just need to make sure you get there and slowly build. You like what we're seeing with Oxford this season, stuff like that. But yeah, and as we said already, Bastian picking up a couple of points in his first ride here. Hopefully he can kick on from there, and we can let's try and see he gets a home win at least.
That's it. Just 2 weeks tonight, it's the next home championship match. We do obviously have the Academy next Saturday, but we'll now hear from the Glasgow camp, and one man, I think we're all pretty happy with our efforts, but one man definitely as happy as anyone was team boss Cammy Brown.
So Cammy, you're team came, they did exactly the job they wanted, and I don't think anyone's going away from here thinking that the result shouldn't have went the Tigers' way.
I think we were the better team. The Heat 14 decision could have gone either way, to be fair. I've seen them. I think we had a few bad decisions at the beginning of the meeting, so to me it kind of evens itself out. But I think we deserved the win tonight. The guys did really well, apart from Benjamin Bassel, who was rotten. But everybody mucked in. I thought Chris was brilliant, Tom, and Marson. Come on, Marson was a joke at Armadale. He's not a joke anymore. He's learning, and that's why the lad's here. He's a good speedway rider.
And I think you say that, it was obviously a team effort. I mean, I think 6 out of the 7 take at least one winner paid win. I don't think I've ever seen Tom Brennan better here. 3 heats he came for the back.
Tom's a very well. He's from Eastbourne. He's used to riding the smaller tracks. So I'm delighted, absolutely delighted. And hi to Christopher Black. I didn't leave after Heat 15 or before Heat 15, Chris. Okay, message to you.
And then even your young Ace, he's winning Heat 2 when it was a heavy fall, and that looked like it affected him. But it's all experience, so he's got another 12 laps under his belt.
We all got round him and said, come on, head up. And even the rerun, he was leading the rerun and he fell off. So his day will come. He's only 16. He's talented boy. He'll come.
And then of course, it's now 2 points in the bag rather than 4, but the expectation will be 3 points next Friday at Ashfield. But it's a new day. It starts again at 0-0 at Heat 1.
Edinburgh's still a good team around here, and when you put Craig Cook back, and I fit, what do you call him? Josh, yeah. Josh, Edinburgh formidable team. Kai didn't have a good night either. Kai's better than that. Paco's good around here. Edinburgh's still good. You've lost a lot of the home meetings, which is very unusual. But we never turned up thinking we were going to, just sure to win. We had to work our butts off to win tonight. That's what Edinburgh make you do, and especially when we come. And we'll need to do the same next Friday, or we might find ourselves on the other end of the score going back the way.
And I spoke to Tom and Chris during the week, and they both probably said the same, that actually, perversely, come the end of the season, that red car result might be a wee bit of a positive. Sometimes needs a wake-up call. You'd cruised into the final, the BSN series, everything was looking rosy, and sometimes you just need reminded that it's hard league.
Oh, I mean, hard league with good teams in it. I mean, you guys have already met Oxford, and you know how good Red Car are. Glasgow are a good side, but there's a lot of good sides. There's, Birmingham are struggling a little bit, but they'll strengthen. I'm sure by the time we go there, they'll be, a different team. But we're looking forward to next Friday. Come on, hope some of the Edinburgh fans come through and come back to Ashfield again, and because we've got a lot of fans here, and we'd like to see you guys back through our place. You're more than welcome.
Well, I'll be there, Cammy. So thanks very much for speaking to us. Well done tonight.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yep, Cammy Brown, a happy man there, and as I say, I'll go through and support the Monarchs next Friday, as I always do, Dave. A tough one.
Stranger things have happened. Come on, there's Speedway at the end of the day, and we've seen our team turn around a bit from maybe not harder situations, but let's go and see what we can do at Ashfield next Friday.
Yeah, let's go and see. But that's just about us. As always, though, we finish on Heat of the Night. I say there was a few we could have chose, but my decision this week, executive decision. There we go, backed up. We've got a consensus this week. It came right at the very beginning, and a pretty interesting Heat number 1.
You followed the caption. It's Richie in 4, Harris in 3.
So I have, yeah. That was a flower, was it not, for Richie Worrall? But Marcin Nowak has actually gone to the front, and it's Castagna second and Harris coming through past certainly Richie Worrall. All level down the back straight there. Castagna got pushed to the back that time, and Worrall's got back inside Chris Harris, and it's Marcin Nowak who's leading the way. Harris way out wide, that gives Castagna a chance, and Richie Worrall's gone to the front. It's all happening in this race. Marcin Nowak riding very well. He's not been a master of Armadale previously. Well, I haven't seen many races around here that have swapped positions quite so much. Richie Worrall was first from the gate, I think, then last, and then first again at the finish. And it's a shared race. And I'll let Graham try and remember all the overtakes there.
Yeah, that's my second time. Maybe my third time actually seeing it with the first replay on the stream. I still can't remember exactly how many passes there was in that one. Don't think anyone could question Richie's commitment, going from last to first. And unfortunately, that set the tone for his night, if not the Monarchs.
Yep.
Tough night at the office. It was a 51-39 win for the Tigers. The third home defeat on the bounce now in the league for the Monarchs, so they've got work to do. They've got next Friday we head to Ashfield, as we said. That's a 7:30 tapes up from memory. Then there is Speedway Armadale next week. It's the Academy up against the Leicester Lion Cubs. Is that still the name, Dave?
Yep.
Not changed. Perfect. Get confirmation there. It's a 7 o'clock start next Saturday. Myself and Dave will be back at some point midweek to preview that. So do keep an eye on the Monarch social media. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the other various whatnot, Twitch, I don't know, what's the other ones, TikTok, I don't know where we are these days. I'm an old man, Dave, I don't keep up with all this kind of stuff.
What chance have I got?
But until then, as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bye for now.